morning. This is Ron Brown. It's Saturday morning, January 10th, 2026. And these are a few things I want to talk about today in this video. First of all, the first quarter 2026 file is uploaded. Before you install it, delete your warehouse and chart views. I'm going to talk about a few odds and ends, things that have come up this week, and then I'm going to talk about a couple of new categories, among other things. Lower risk entries on strong stocks and bottom fishing scans. An HGSI user wanted, he's going through some of my old webinars, and he came across these bottom fishing scans, so I decided to put them into the program. I'm going to probably have to do some reorganizing here. It's getting a little bit jumbled. Anyway, as always, the market is your teacher, and any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. Okay, I want to point out I'm in the designer. Under the custom groups, the top 50 is working again. There are several days missing, but don't worry if you're a subscriber. Just go into the non-index groups and go to the top 50. I track these every day myself. It's just an old habit I've done for 20 years, and if I download it at a different time and I want to see the top 50, I just go ahead and do my own. You can see all of the Januaries are in here. So they're messing up here, but nothing to be concerned about. Another thing while I'm in the designer, there's been confusion about when I did the David Gilardi and the smart groups. By the way, I have to get back to that. Just haven't felt like it or haven't had the time. But if you go under Tools, no, I'm sorry, it's under Files. Go under Manage User Smart Groups. I'm sorry, wrong one. Manage Group Subscriptions. Got an email from a customer that said there wasn't anything in Gilardi's smart groups, but what you have to do is you have to just check all of these, and then these will build automatically. So if they're cleared, these are not going to be updated when you do your download. So just check everything, and that way all of these smart groups are generated every time or every day. You can see that it's updating them right now. Doesn't take long. But this will be during the daily update process. You don't have to do this manually. Just make sure you select them and let them go. Okay, here's the best of Woodward and Brown. That's it. The top 50 stocks are generated by using a combo ranking, and the 50 stocks at kind of the top of the list are the top 50, and then the best of Woodward and Brown are the top 10 out of those top 50. Let me show you something here. Under the File menu, you can compare groups. And you can see that I have the best of Woodward and Brown in one of the groups selected. And the other one is the top 50 group inclusion report from the 9th. So I'm going to run this. And only in the top 50 in both groups, and you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that are in here, and this is just being more selective. These have the most hits. Now, I believe that's right. It's been a long time. I think it just goes in and pulls the top 10 out of here rather than going back in and pulling the top 10 out of the entire database. I'll have to check up on that. But anyway, these are kind of the cream of the crop. A lot of them are really extended, of course. A lot of these are really extended. But that's just a a little feature where you can compare two groups. As you all know, the market's been very strong. Kind of surprising, but getting the new year off to a strong start. There's a lot of extended stocks, really extended stocks, so be careful. Okay, I'm going to go into while I'm in the designer, I'm going to go into the industries and sectors, click through to the warehouse, and just go up here to my 01 folder, and let's take a look at the industry groups rather than individual stocks. And you can see where the strength was yesterday. This is scorecard end of day stocks and industry groups, but I'm in the industry. The home builders index, interest rates coming down, maybe. Let me get a different chart. Oh, my dog had to bark. Home builders index, you can see it's coming off the bottom. This is my 1C chart, undercut and rally. You can see there was accumulation going on down here. These light green bars are bullish bars, and then we got the crossover right here, and it continued yesterday. So, defense primes. This has been a really strong group this week because of Trump suggesting a $1.5 trillion defense budget. Now, where's the money going to come from? This country's already $38 trillion in the hole, and he spends. No wonder he's been bankrupt so many times. Of course, this is other people's money, but anyway, that's why it all flowed into there. And if you go into the group and look at some of these stocks, you can see that that's not. This is one. You can see very dangerous at this point now, but look where the entries were. Here's an entry, a little pullback here, and then another entry. Let's look at one more in here. But there's a lot of extended stocks now. I mean, look at the run here from 252 up to 100-point move in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I mean, this is institutional money. Has to be. Let's look at this one a little closer here. I hit my alternate 1 key, and I want to point out that I'm going to hit my alternate A key. Let's see if this works. Brings up the annotation tools. I want this extended trend line here. I'm just going to, it's yellow. Let's make it black. Let's make it red. Let's go from here. There's one trend line, and draw another one from here to here. You can see it's below the moving averages, and it broke this trend line, started breaking this trend line right here, but notice how the momentum has stopped right here, and we're getting these green accumulation bars here. It's slowing down, and then right here at this point, there is a bullish signal, and you look at the volume coming in. You can see the volume starting to come in to this this stock with the volume pocket pivots, and then it pulls back. But notice as it pulls back, volume is light, and then right here there's an effort to rise and a crossover. This is a crossover too, but then it came back down, and then it took off on heavy volume. Now, had a pullback day here on heavier volume because it gapped up, but it closed below where it opened, black candle. That's why we have that there. Now I'm doing alternate E, or I just right mouse click and clear all the annotations. So I don't think this is used much, but for illustrating things like this, it's good. Anyway, And look at this relative strength line up here too. So it's good to look at both daily and weekly charts. Do I have another chart open here? No. So let's open a weekly chart too. Okay, there's the weekly chart. This is Kratos, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, chart, but let's look at it. I'll do an alternate 2. Trend was up here, and then I can do the alternate A, the extended trend line from the high down to the next higher high before the lowest low, and you can see that the momentum is starting to shift here with these light green bars, and then it took several weeks before it broke out. Here's a crossover, didn't go anywhere, but it didn't go down either. Crossover just stayed in this range, and here's more accumulation right here. I didn't get that. I need to get the right arrow. Accumulation, did I still get it? Oh, okay. Let's try it again. There we go. Accumulation here, here, accumulation with crossover, pulled back, light volume here, bullish, and then the crossover, and it just took off. And look at the pocket pivot volume coming in here. Okay, I've got to clear all my annotations. Anyway, I kind of got sidetracked. This is one of the smarter groups that it always pays to go over these charts. And you can see these signals are actually quite good. And they're all based on price and volume. Confirmation is over here on the weekly chart. Big move up after all this accumulation here. And then this is what happens when you chase. We're at that point again. So just be careful on these extended stocks if you're going after them. Or better yet, don't go after them because, risk is extremely high. Let me point this out. My friend, I said about a month, bought NVIDIA right here. He's still way underwater, and will NVIDIA ever get back up to this 210 area? I don't know. But anyway, you can't chase these. It's just not worth it. Look for low-risk setups. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some things I've added. I'm going to go to alternate A, which will put me back into all securities. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but a customer is looking for some old scans, bottom fishing. And I found these in Ian and I did the last workshop was in October of 2015, and these scans were in there. And then unfortunately he didn't live much longer than that. But anyway, I've added these. These are strong stocks, number 27. Folder net category 27. I need to change that to a category. Excuse me. I'm going to pause it. Okay, lower risk VPA entry flags. Now, the customer who was looking for bottom fishing stocks, that's a separate category. I just put this in here. VPA entries. Look at all these have a VPA signal here, and the fan is up. So let's just bring one up and see if that works. See, the fan is in place. And I consider this lower entry because here's a test, and then the early buy or the buy would have been the next day before this shot up. But test, confirmation of that test, effort to rise. So just look over here and you'll see what these signals are. And if there was a signal the day before, you can see the test for supply here, which is right here, and then up bar closing near high effort to rise. Here's strength seen returning after what is considered a long downtrend. It's not really a long downtrend, but strength is returning right here. So it's a strong stock where the fan's still in place. Doesn't look like it is, but it is. Here's the 18, the 50, the 100, and the 200. So I wanted to get this in here. This is just the same thing intraday, and I'm doing this on a weekend. So now let's look at these. Category, oversold bottom fishing. VPA, 10 days since the bingo stock bullish. What do I mean by that? It's a 10-day limit. The 10 days haven't passed. 10 days is max since the bingo stock. And this column right here tells how long it's been since the bingo. Now, what is the bingo? Well, I just dug an old chart out and modified it a little bit. And I put it down here under David Gallardi charts. These gray bars represent the bingo, which is an oversold condition. And I just left, let me see if I can find something else. How about, this is an older company here. But see, this is oversold here, rallied off of there, gap down, oversold. And you can see there's been a little accumulation here. How many days has it been since the bingo? It's been 2 days. Here's the bingo bar, 1, 2. So if you're looking for early accumulation, this early accumulation with VPA flags, this is the scan that you can use. VPA 10 days since. That's misleading, but it's 10 days max since bingo. Maybe I should change that. Let me do that. Now that makes more sense. VPA 10 days max since the bingo, and there's a VPA signal over here. All of these are going to have a bingo VPA, and they're going to have a bingo bar. Let's just go down here to Fubo TV. How many days? It's actually been 8 days. Zero's the crossover day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days since Fubo generated that bingo bar. Now the bingo bar, these are the numbers that Ian and I think Bob Meager came up with. I had nothing to do with this, and they determined through testing that when a stock gets to a certain point based upon the RSI down in the percent B and accumulation distribution, that it is time to generate a bingo bar. Doesn't mean to buy, just means that it's extremely oversold. So wait for some of these other signals. Like here's an effort to rise, Copart, good Wyckoff views. 5 days since the bingo bar. You can see it crossed over 2 days ago, 0 being the crossover day, and it's been under accumulation. Now on this bingo chart I just left, this is from the 2015 workshop, force 13 day, 2 day, and then this is the force. If you want to see the red line is a 2-day force, and the blue histogram is a 13-day force. If you want to see how strong the force was. Okay, let's see. This one here. This one is the same thing without the VPA. Here it is, and then if you want a cleaner chart, just go down here to 1A. Now the other scan in here is bingo stock 5 and 10 day pocket pivot. So let's look at this. You can see there aren't very many. So what's the significance of this one? Well, there has to be a pocket pivot, volume pocket pivot generated, and you can see this has been under accumulation, but bingo, 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 and then all of a sudden above average volume spike is coming in. It's under accumulation now. So this is Pool Corporation. You can see been in a long downtrend here, but you can see here these volume pocket pivots. And the stock isn't too far removed from the bingo, but it's 9 days ago this was 9 days ago. So the momentum has slowed to the downside. You can see accumulation coming in. Let's look at this stock with the underlying. The reason I want to do this, I want to show you all these green bars here. You're starting to see accumulation. And then you get, here's volume pocket pivot here, and then you get the crossover right here, and it's starting to move up. Now going back to the bingo charts, this one has VPA signals. This one does not. Now I'm going to leave it at that. I threw a lot at you, and I'll make sure that I export these and get them on the server. But thanks for listening. And I know I came from a lot of different directions, but I'm just pointing out things that are different, and I think you'll find interesting and useful.